the first category is what is going on with these teams. And right now, let's talk about both of them. Packers Bears ends in devastating fashion. Our second week in a row, a game-winning field goal is blocked on as time expires. Packers win 20-19. Packers now 7-3, Bears 4-6. And honestly, this is for both these teams because the Packers, I don't think look good in this game at all. Caleb Williams had his best game of the season and was just tearing apart that defense. So, what's going on with the Bears, who we declared done last week, and that is showing us very well in predicting that. And then the Packers, there's something about the Packers casino I can't get behind.
No, that's totally fair. I'm worried about the Packers as well. I've really liked Jordan Love, but I don't know. It's kind of like the whole Texas thing for me or Atlanta thing for me. They're good, but they're just missing something about them. But with that being said, they could be an upset team. We still like Josh Jacobs. He didn't have really that good of a game this last week. He only had 76 yards. Jordan Love couldn't really move the football either. His completion rating was pretty okay. I mean, he had an 80% QBR, which not too bad. And off of only 13 completions, he had 261 yards. So pretty good. But again, they were going up against a Bears defense that we know is good. So I just thought this was a great in-division game. These two franchises hate each other, truly hate each other. So I just thought this was a good game all in all. And I'm not trying to look into too much of it, like with what our number 3 is, like what's going on with these teams. This game I just kind of throw away. This was an in-division. This is one of the oldest, heated rivalries in this sport that I'm just kind of throwing this one out. This was not something I'm going to watch tremendously about. But I do want to talk about with that, as you talk about the game-winning field goal block, where Coach Matt Eberflus is out there, and he's saying that the refs missed a penalty that should have been called. Yeah. What do you think about that? Did you see that?
Yeah, I hate that shit. I hate when coaches are like after the fact just being like, we're going to send a strongly worded letter to the league after this to show that there was a penalty. And it's just like, oh, yeah, how's that going to work out for you?
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen. Like literally. Also, you have the entire game to beat them.
Yeah.
So again, it's 20-19. You're setting up for a field goal. Like, I don't understand how field goals even get blocked. Like you have the advantage.
This was a rough week for kickers, all in all.
Well, it's been a rough season
outside of Pitt.
Yeah.
But so I apologize to our viewers and listeners. I know I've been kind of just like rambling. My brain is trying to process everything and it's having trouble keeping up with. I'm trying to speak and my brain can't keep up with it.
We're used to that on this podcast.
Thanks, I know.
But no, my team lost a Super Bowl on a bullshit like holding call at the end of it. So everybody bitching about losing a Week 11 game because your kick got blocked because there was a penalty. Like, yeah, I have zero sympathy. And as far as the Bears go, ironically, Caleb Williams did have his best game probably of the season. 9 carries, 70 rushing yards, 23 for 31, 231 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Had a great game. And I will say, this usually happens when like an offensive coordinator gets fired, and then the next week, all of a sudden the offense is going off. But they went off and still only scored 19 points. So it's not like, oh, problem solved, let's get back to it. But they did look better offensively. But again, Bears have been done for a couple weeks now. They're 4-6. They're in a division where everybody in front of them has 7 wins. They're done. But let's move on, Casino, to, well, we know what's going on with one of these teams, which is they're bad. But the other one, I still have no idea. Texans at Cowboys last night, Monday Night Football. They opened the roof for the first time in Cowboy Stadium in 2 years, and some sheet metal or something fell off the roof. So emblematic of the Cowboy season. They are now 3-7 after losing the game 34-10. But I'll tell you what, Houston put up 2 touchdowns in both the first and fourth quarter, and then the second and third quarter. They just look completely lost. It was rough. I don't know what's going on with the Texans, but CJ Stroud just does not look the same.
Do you want to know the best thing about all of the Cowboys' horrible season is they have not won a single game at home.
Which actually I had, yeah. So I had this stat pulled up in my
It's the
phone,
greatest.
Casino.
It's so great.
So they are 0 home wins in 2024. So that includes going into the season or the end of last season. The Dallas Cowboys remain the only team in the 4 major leagues without a home win in 2024. They have 3 more chances this calendar year against the Giants, Bengals, and Bucks. So they're going to lose obviously the Bengal and Bucks games, but really their only chance is November 28th against the Giants. That's their one chance, or else I don't know if a team has ever done that. I mean, they had to have, where they win a full calendar year without winning a game at home. I don't think
Oh
that's
yeah,
ever
no, no,
happened
no,
in
it has just
baseball.
well, but definitely in the NFL. I mean, you've had a
Yeah.
couple like the Browns were 0-16 or whatever they were.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
just what a fun stat that they haven't
It's
won a
so good.
game all year.
It's so good.
But also Cooper Rush throws the ball 55 times, which again, that always leads to a victory.
Well,
Uh
they have
32
they have
for
no rushing.
55.
You've talked about it. They have no rushing
Yeah.
whatsoever.
354, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That 1 interception could have been 4. There was so many dropped interceptions that the Texans just left on the field last night. We know what's wrong with the Cowboys, Casino. What can you say is wrong with the Texans that we can like quantify? Because
We've been trying to figure it out all season. I have no idea, man. I'm just as I'm looking through it, and I really have no idea. There just things just aren't clicking. The cogs are not working together. They should go to my watch guy. I don't know. Um, see, I'm
that
trying.
was good.
Thank you, thank
The Texans, what is it?
you.
They have the 4th ranked defense in the entire league. They're a great pass defense. They're 6th in the league, and then their rushing defense is a little bit worse, but still a top 10 at number 9 rushing defense. So they have a legitimate
But
top 10
so
defense.
yeah, I
But
would not want to play this team come playoff time. You know, if they make it through, I would not want to play them. I sincerely would be a little afraid to go up against this team because you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know how to plan for them because they're they're so inconsistently good and bad that I have no idea how to pinpoint this team.
yeah, and CJ Stroud on the season, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Not great, not bad, just
I know he
kind
was my
of.
MVP pick. Boo.
I know. That's yeah. I think we can put a pin in that, Casino, because I
I
don't think
know.
that's happened anytime soon. But as we move on to what's going on with these teams, I wanted to include the Rams and your team in this, Casino, because
Let's do it. I want to talk about it.
The Rams beat your team 28-22. The Rams are now 5-5, a game behind the Cardinals or I think they're a game behind the Cardinals and then tied with the Niners and Seahawks for that spot to win the NFC West. Uh Thoughts on just
Yeah,
well,
so
let's
with the
first talk
NFC
about your
West,
team.
yeah, they're Arizona's 6-4. Every other team is 5-5, so they still have a shot, man. This is insane.
Yeah.
It's
Uh
that's insane that the Arizona Cardinals are winning this division at 6-4.
Yeah. And well, let's look at the Rams' upcoming schedule. They play the Eagles Sunday night in LA.
Could
Might
be a
be
good
going to
one.
that game. Maybe, maybe.
You should.
Uh
Oh, let's do
then
it.
they go Saints, Bills, 49ers, Jets, Cardinals, Seahawks.
They're gonna
So
split. They're gonna split the rest of the season.
yeah, they're playing the best team or one of the best teams in the NFC with the Eagles, the best team in the AFC with the Bills, and then a bunch of either divisional games or fringe playoff teams. So really the only gimme they have on that list is the Saints, and Saints are playing pretty good right now. So none of those outside of the Jets, I would say, are like guaranteed victories.
Yeah.
But
But I will say, I mean, if Matthew Stafford and Nakua and Cup can keep playing the way they're playing, they've got a shot. They're gonna
yeah,
have a shot because I was that catch by Puka Nakua, that he was fully horizontal when he caught that ball, was just outstanding. I mean, he hurt himself on that play because he landed square on his chest.
yeah,
um, but man, you talk about a superstar, man. They really knew what they got with him, and that's awesome. And Cooper Cup finally, really coming back and solidifying himself as one of the best receivers in the league again. I love seeing it, honestly. Um,
yeah.
and then so going over to the Patriots, Drake May threw the ball 40 times this game.
God,
40 times. So he did have an interception. It was that late interception. I don't think that was on him. No receiver turned around for him um, at all. And my Patriot chat was like, "Oh, it was a go route, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, but look where the ball is, man. Like your quarterback was under pressure a little bit. Look, it's been enough time. Look back." But and then he did have a fumble in that game.
he
But
just
he
got
was totally
absolutely annihilated. Yeah,
annihilated blindside. No idea the guy was there. Um, so that sucked. But 30 for 40, man. QBR of 73, 282 yards. And 2 touchdowns. I really like Drake May, man. I am so happy that the Patriots got him as our quarterback. Truly, I'm very, very excited to see what he can do in the future with a better offensive line and hopefully some weapons coming here in this offseason. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Nine,
I'm
nine.
extremely excited. I think the Patriots found their next franchise quarterback with Drake May. I truly do.
Ooh,
I think he'll be there for a while because look what he's doing. Look at the numbers he's putting up without any offensive help on the
yeah,
line or with weapons. It comes down, it's pretty much just him and Ramondre Stevenson. That's it.
yeah,
And Ramondre's doing his absolute best with a broken O line. You can't ask for him to go for over 100 yards rushing every single game. Um, when he has to find the pockets himself. Um, but you know what? I'm happy with where the Patriots are. 3-8 is kind of where I thought they would be at the beginning of the season. One of the worst teams in the league, but I'm glad we got to see Drake May as of late and seeing him really shine. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because just talking about all the rookie quarterbacks that came out of the draft, I think he's doing great. Honestly,
yeah,
I think I'll be honest, I think this quarterback rookie class, they're all doing pretty well. Which is kind of shocking. I mean, Bo Nix is having a really good, he's finally getting his stuff figured out over there in Denver. Paid as we just talked about, Drake May's getting some good looks and he's getting some good reps. And then we know about all the others. So
yeah. And you just mentioned it, Casino. So let's jump right over to it because the next in what is going on with these teams, we were going to save this for the Falcons, but let's talk about the Broncos because the
yeah, man,
Broncos
they look good.
absolutely annihilate the Falcons 38-6. This would have been blowout of the week had the Lions Jags game not
Yeah, and
happened.
I'm talking about him, Mr. Bo Nix, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 28 for 33, over 300 yards. Great job! Like, what a
Yeah.
great quarterback play for this young guy. Things are clicking. Things are finally clicking over there, and it complements that defense so well. Um, yeah, this is a scary team. If they can get ahead of steam, and if they can roll into the playoffs somehow, I would be really really worried to play this team.
Yeah. Well, I think right now they would be the last team in because it's 7 playoff spots. So it
Right.
would obviously be
So I have it
Steelers.
pulled up here. Yeah, they are sitting in the seventh spot right now.
So it'd be Bills, Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, and then it would be Chargers, Broncos. So 3
No,
teams
it wouldn't
getting
be
in.
Ravens anymore. Pitt jumped
Oh.
them.
Oh, so who would be the 7th team?
No, I'm saying Pitt is the fourth seed. I thought you were doing seeding.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying the 7
Oh
teams
yeah,
that
yeah.
would get in.
Yeah,
Would be,
yeah.
yeah, 3 from the AFC West, 1 from the South, 2 from the
Right.
North, and then 1 from the East.
Yeah, so
So,
Denver's in right now, and I would be worried to play them. Like whoever gets that number, whoever obviously the number one seed, but whoever's sitting two, like if my prediction came right, where I think the Bills will end up taking that, because all it now comes down to one more loss for the Chiefs. If that happens and the Bills win out, Bills get that number one seed. And if I was the Chiefs, I would be scared shitless to go up against the Broncos because we could possibly see a back-to-back um, KC Broncos game because they play in Denver. The Chiefs play in Denver for the last game of the season on January 5th, and just say they lose that game. Say Chiefs are winning out all the way up till then, and you go up against the Broncos. I could really see that. That would be really funny if the Broncos beat them 2 games in a row. That'd be funny.
yeah. Well, that's also, they almost beat them once except for that
Right. And I
miraculous
mean,
block
I
kick,
know you
so
you laughed at me when I said that. Yeah, I know the Bills got a hard schedule coming up. It's the Chiefs, man. They got the Chargers. They have the Chargers still. They have the Texans, Steelers, and Broncos. They'll beat the Raiders and they'll beat the Browns, but they have 4 tough games who are all playing really good football right now. And it feels like the Chiefs are digressing.
yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
But
I'm
when it
excited.
comes, now and also Broncos again, their defense is legit. What is it? Their offense now just looks like it's cooking with gas, and they just look like, again, Bo Nix, he might sneak in there and just win Offensive Rookie of the Year because his numbers are astounding. Like, especially if they're just a playoff team that's like the fifth or sixth seed.
Oh
He
yeah.
has
Great
he
point.
has 18 touchdowns and 7 turnovers. So that's almost double what Jaden Daniels has in terms of touchdowns. And he's doing it the exact same way. What is it? Daniels is doing it through the air and with his legs. And yeah, he just looks
Yeah.
damn
Jaden
good.
Daniels is 10-3. Yep.
Yeah. But as far as the Falcons go, Casino, I mean, they have just been on a steady decline over the past couple weeks.
But
Kirk
again,
Cousins
they're
in
they're
this game.
still but with that, they're still 2 games ahead of the Bucks and the Saints, man.
That's what
At 6 at 6 and 5.
it's weird, but Kirk Cousins in this game gets benched for Michael Penix Jr. when they not well, partly because he was bad, partly because the game was just completely out of reach.
Yeah.
Penix comes in, throws 4 passes, doesn't really do anything worth talking about.
Yeah, it
But
was 2 for 4.
when
Hey.
it comes to the Falcons, Casino, all of a sudden, maybe there is a line where the Bucks can just sweep in there and steal this division, because the past couple games for the Falcons, they've lost at Denver, they've lost at the Saints, they only beat the Cowboys by 6, and then they lost to the Buccaneers.
Yeah, but I
So
think the Falcons have 3 very, very winnable games. They have the Raiders, they have the Giants, and they have the Panthers. And then they could be fun games with the Chargers. They'll lose to the Vikings, and then they have the Commanders as well. So, I mean, they got a fairly easier schedule. They have 3 games that are going to be good games and 3 games that they should win. So,
yeah.
um, I,
Do
I
you
just have a hard time seeing the Bucks catch them when the Bucks still have they have some no, they have about the same. They have the same schedule. You're right. There's a really good possibility because they have the Giants, the Panthers twice, the Raiders, the Cowboys, and Chargers. You know what? And they could really pull this off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If 9 wins this division, I mean, Buccaneers are sitting
Mhm.
right there. Falcons are about to have their bye week. So if the Buccaneers win this week and all of a sudden they're 5-6, like, that's one game because they already beat them. So it wouldn't
Mhm.
even be a half. Or it wouldn't be a game and a half. It'd literally be a half game behind
Yeah.
the Falcons. So I don't know. Keep your eyes open on that Bucks team, that if they made the playoffs over the Falcons with how many injuries they've had, that would be, yeah, quite a story. And also a team I don't want to play in the playoffs because they already beat the Eagles' ass once this season. So, and they did it last season. I don't want to see them again. Last one. What is going on with these teams? This is pretty much just because I didn't know where to put this team because we know what went on with this team. But Raiders at Dolphins, Casino.
Hmm.
I mean, Dolphins win 34-19. So again, 4-6. There's a chance. There's a
There's a
chance they can
chance.
get. I don't know how confident I am in the Dolphins with how many teams are above them, but
Yeah, so they would have they're 2 games out of the wild card. If Denver, though, keeps playing the way they are, I can't see Miami catching Baltimore. I can't see Miami catching the Chargers. Um, and I think Denver is gonna start going on a tear here. So, I know we talked about it. Even if they win out, I think that the 2 games might be a little too much for them.
yeah, I would tend to agree. I think a little too little too late, but I'll tell you what, I think this ends the Tua slander because all of a
It
sudden
does. He's
the
good.
the
He's
one
good.
player who comes back for the Dolphins is Tua, and now all of a sudden they're right back to what they were last season, which
It's gonna
was
be a shame, though, that within the next 2 years, he's probably gonna get one more concussion, and then that's gonna have to be his career,
yeah.
sadly.
I mean, based on what we've seen, yeah. But I mean, when he comes in this year, in the short time he's been in, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in 6 games. Uh he has fumbled 5 times. So I think he also fumbled in this game as well. So that is an issue, but that also might just be because he's only played half the season at this point. So
Mhm.
he's still getting coming back from that injury, getting his legs under him, but there's a chance, not a big chance, but weirder
There's a
things have
chance.
happened.